I know that the year has been switched for approximately 25 days now. We've been 25 days into the year 2024. And somebody right now who's going through a whole lot just in these 25 days. There's somebody right now who is battling some type of illness, who is battling some type of financial problem, who is hating their job, they hate their significant other. There's somebody in here who is really looking for a reason to let go. I got bad news for you. I can't give you that reason because I need you to fight. I need you to battle forward and stay. I need you to be strong and understand that this is not the time to give up. This is not the type of war that you can say, I'm throwing in the towel on. We won't let you. We don't want you to give up. There are people who want to hear your voice, who want to see your smile, who want to hear your laughter. And the idea of you not being present just doesn't cross our mind because we need to have you around. You matter. You mean something to us. So before you make a decision that we have to live with, make one that you can live with and get help. 3 numbers, 988. That's it. Nothing crazy, nothing more. 3 numbers, 988. So do us all the favor of staying honest and understanding that we need you to stay because tomorrow needs you. Now let's talk football.
Fight me.
Hey, how you doing? This is Mike with Sports Talk Radio. And I just want to say, we have the legendary G-Mac Cash here. And G-Mac Cash, he has a message for everybody. He says that the Lions are still winning.
Come on.
Let's check him out.
Hey, you know the Lions still winning. For real? You know the Lions still winning. Stop lying. You know the Lions still winning. They winning. They say we couldn't do it and we did it. They did. You know the Lions still winning. It can't be. You know the Lions still winning. They is. You know the Lions still winning. For real. They said we couldn't do it and we did it. Hey, they did. In the playoffs, we can't take a day off. About to send them other teams home like they got laid off. We up in rank now. What they gotta say now? We ain't about to play now from Jericho off the St. Brown. The Lions winning, man. They gotta be the best feeling. Every game, you know we got a legend in the building. We still got them bars jumping while it's cold out. The Lions winning every home game sold out.
Pride Nation. Oh, God, you don't understand what it feels to be held captive and unable to talk ball when you want to. You don't know how much energy it takes for me to fight back all the responses I want to have to people who just got lazy in their journalism. But I'm here. I'm here to talk about so many things pertaining to this Detroit Lions team, from their victory over the Buccaneers, a team that I also like and admire, to the media's response to Stephen A. Smith, to Skip Bayless, and so forth and so on. I have much to cover in a short period of time because things are changing. I got a baby on the way, and I have to make sure that the missus is all good and the kids is all good. So yeah, my responsibilities are there first. But people, you know, the Lions still winning. Shout out to my man G-Mac Cash, who just keep on pumping out fire for this team, people. Oh, God, I feel good. Listen, I know it's a late start. I know it wasn't a lot of time for people to really get it. But look, at the end of the day, we hear people. Let's go through and see who in the building with me. I know people gonna roll in late. It was a late minute thing. I was trying my best to get here as fast as possible, to make this thing pop. And, I got where I can. We got my man Looney Tune in the building. Makai Hope is in the building. We got my man Detroit D in the building. Mr. Craig Bevins in the building. Looking nice there. I like what you got going on. Looking all spiffed with the, got the LinkedIn look going on. I like that. We got my man Big T in the building. We got my man's that fan man in the building. We got Luke who said, the Lions still winning. For real? Like we got my man Detroit D in the building. Will K is in the building. We got my man KMG King in the building. Southwest Lion 26 is in the building. I'm finna have a lot of fun with this today. Let me just get into it. I'm happy that the Lions beat the Buccaneers. I know this sounds weird to people. How can you like the Buccaneers, the Seahawks, and the Lions and be happy when they lose? Because I root for the team that I believe has the best chance to bring home a trophy. And I've already witnessed the Buccaneers win a trophy. I've seen the Seahawks win a trophy. I want the place that I was born and raised and live at right now to get the trophy, and that's Detroit. And it's very simple. That's what it boils down to. But as happy as I was beyond pissed off with that game. I was aggravated, frustrated, and annoyed with that game for a number of reasons. And I have a Discord where I have certain people who like to come in there and have certain conversations that I'm just like, this doesn't make sense. But I'm gonna get into all that and then some on what really aggravated me about that game. Southwest Lions in the building. What up, though? Broken Lion 69 is in the building. What up, though? Let me just get into it. So look, off rip, what the Lions did well was they never gave up the lead. And it's interesting because I want you to pay attention to that theme. The Lions never gave up the lead. In both their games, there was never a time where the opposition took the lead. Okay? Anytime they scored, the Lions responded. And I want you to remember that they never gave up the lead and they always responded with a score, because that's going to be pivotal when I get to talking about the 49ers game that's coming up on Sunday. What pissed me off was their direct, self-inflicted refusal to stick to the run. They literally just abandoned the run in the first half of that bout. And it was irritating me because there was no way that game should have went further than it did. There was no way that game should have been that close. There was no way that our quarterback should have threw the ball 43 times in a game that essentially was one possession for the most part. And why this is frustrating is because you're going to play a team on Sunday where you better commit to the run. I'm talking 20 to 19 carries between each running back run the ball. And I watched this game where people was like, well, they shut the run. No, they didn't. They didn't shut nothing down. They were gearing up to slow up David Montgomery. They had no answer for Gibbs. And we didn't give Gibbs as many opportunities as we could have. Because when I look at that game, when I go back to that game, let me just remind you, because I like to keep notes. I post a lot of stuff during the halftime. And I do that because I want people to be able to go back and reflect. So here's my question to you. How many times do you think the Lions ran the ball in the first half? Now, if this is a little bit of a quiz time, but I want y'all to understand why I was upset and frustrated. Now, to help you along the way, I'm going to give you a little visual aid so you can kind of look up for yourself. As you can see here, the Lions ran the ball 26 times for the whole game. But how many times do you think they ran the ball in the first half? And I'm going to tell you this much. I would even take out Jared Goff's numbers and still tell you that they had no answer for them. So, again, how many? What's going on, Sky Guy? What to do, brother? Yeah, last minute. I'm sorry. Steve-O, what up, though? How many times in the first half? Chrome, what up, though? I want to know. How many times in the first half? If you don't know, I did post it on a community page, so you can always find the answer. How many times did they run the ball? Because when you look at that and then have somebody tell you, well, they shut the run down. That's cap. 7? All right. Okay, cool. Not a bad number. 7. Okay. And again, I'm talking about taking out Jared Goff stuff. I'm taking out Jared Goff stuff. I got 7 so far. Anybody else got another guess? Because I really want y'all to know that this is what it looks like when you abandon the run. This is why the game was so close. This is why people were so frustrated with watching that game, because they refused to stay with the run. But for my guess of 7, you were close between Gibbs and David Montgomery. And Sky Guy got the answer. They ran the ball literally 9 times between Gibbs and Montgomery. Gibbs got 4 carries. Montgomery got 5. Gibbs had 4 carries for 17 yards, which is a 4.3 average. His longest one was 6. Montgomery had 5 carries for 13 yards, so 2.6 average. His longest one was 5. And, all right. And then if you take out the 3 carries that Jared Goff had, because he had to run, they were not designed runs for them, for 9 yards, they had 9 carries for 30 yards. I want y'all to think about that. 9 carries for 30 yards. Now, if you do the rough math on 9 carries for 30 yards, it doesn't take much. You just simply take 30 and divide it by 9. And you come up with 3.3 yards, right? Now, they finished the game, okay, with 26 rushing attempts, which means that they gave 5 more carries to Gibbs in the second half and 5 more carries to David Montgomery in the second half. And that should not happen. That should not happen. You should not have a run game die out because you just refuse to. And I got some news flash for the people who's talking about, oh, they had this ranked defense. And kick rocks. They at home with that ranked defense. The same way that high-ranked defense for the Browns is at home, that high-ranked offense for the Dolphins is at home. Nobody cares about that. They executed the game plan, which was having Goff throw the ball. They said they pretty clearly after the game, and they opened up the run late. And I'm telling you that was a mistake. That wasn't the only mistake that he made in that game, because we can also talk about how he had them taking knees way too soon, too fast, which if the Bucs would have been smart, could have took a shot to call a timeout. But I digress. I don't care what they say. I'm telling you, watching that game, there was no way that was a one-possession game. It should have been way further if they did that. You also got to keep in mind that you got a guy on your team who's going to get a head coaching job. And from what I'm hearing, he's going to be the head coach of the Washington Commanders. You as a head coach need to make sure that your coaches get hired, because it helps you get other coaches. So, yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, our whole game plan was to pass. But let me just tell you, there is nobody who's going to tell you that passing the ball 43 times in a game where the other team never took the lead, at best they tied it at halftime 10-10. At best. At best. They were never meant to throw the ball 43 times and run it 26. There's no way. And I'm telling you, if they come out with that same week game plan this week, you can get your feelings hurt. Because you were playing into their team's defense. You were playing into that. And you didn't have to. And I grew frustrated watching that. I grew frustrated with our defense because I knew that the plays they were calling were right, but we were missing some tackles here and there, and some things we just wasn't hitting on all cylinders. But hey, it is what it is. But just because we got the win, don't mean there ain't work to be done. Don't mean that we just can overlook it. Now, I know that some people may look at it and think that's not that big of a deal. I'm talking about these things because we're getting ready to play a team who, you know what, runs the ball. They run the ball. And you're going to need to have a team that can not only tackle well, but establish the run for themselves early and often. And my frustration was the hot hand was Gibbs. And I know that he said, oh, they opened up the run. Like, no, the run is what opened up the pass game. Believe it or not, because in the second half, we started running and we got a few good runs here and there with Gibbs, and they brought people up. And then you got that big play with Brock Wright. There was another play where they brought people up and it allowed you to get a one-on-one with for the touchdown with St. Brown. You have to run the ball. If you go and listen to the soundbite from the Ravens game, you're going to hear their all-pro linebacker, Roquan Smith, say, that's how you do it. Run the ball and shut the run down. That's how you win in the playoffs. This is not science. I want you to ride the hot hand. Ride it. And this is going to be one of them games where if you allow them to run the ball and you play passing, you're going to get your feelings hurt. Why? Because their history say they can't stop the run. That's what their history say. The Packers did it to them. Go. You think I'm lying? Give me a second. I'll show you. Give me a second. Let me bring it up for you. Because I don't think people understand why this is a frustrating thing for me. There were a lot of great moments in there. I knew that when Derek Barnes got that interception, a lot of people forget all about that whiff sack in the Dallas Cowboy game. Oh, they forgot about it. You know what I didn't forget about? All the people, our local media on YouTube, our local media on the radio, our local media in general, the national media who called the head coach a dummy and said that he was nothing more than an airhead and talked about that man and said that, look, this guy is just a dude and all this other crap. And all he exuberates is literally attitude. It's attitude. Nothing else, nothing more. But when I'm looking at that game, and I'm a Bucs fan, I'm like, yo, we can run on them. There is no reason we cannot run on them. We can 100% run on them. And I expected them to do that. And that's why when they finally committed to it, it worked. Because you can run on them. So let me just show you something. The 49ers lost a number of games, right? They lost a number of games, 5 to be exact. Not a lot, but they did lose those games, including the game to the Vikings, the Bengals, the Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Rams game, okay? So they lost those games, all right? I want to just show y'all something. Because when people say they executed a game plan, all I hear is a bunch of excuses. All right? Shout out to my man, two guys in the podcast. Says the great thing about the Lions is this game plan changed for the opponent. The game plan against the 49ers will not be aired out. So given that, you are right. Listen, the game against the Buccaneers shouldn't have been aired out. And to be honest with you, had they came into it with that and it had been anybody but Baker Mayfield and Todd Bowles, who, by the way, is another reason why I knew the Lions were going to win, because Todd Bowles is stupid. Like, I don't even understand. What's the point of going for 2? Like, just make it make sense. If you go for the 2, and again, analytics is dumb. It doesn't make sense. If you're going to go for the 2, right, you just, instead of it being down 7, you're down 6. If you don't get it, you're down 8, which means you need to still make another touchdown and a 2-point conversion. What's more likely? You scoring a touchdown to kick the extra point, or you missing the 2-point conversion, getting a touchdown and getting a 2. So Todd Bowles shows you why he was an idiot. He showed that. But let me just show you for the fun people. All right? Why that game was so irritating. Because everything I'm going to talk about is going to relate to this. I want you to look at this. They lost the game 19-17. PJ Walker threw the ball 34 times. Now, if you take out PJ Walker's 33 runs, or kneel downs or however you want to call it, you're still talking about a team with 31 rushing attempts for 160 yards. That's 4.7. And they lost this game, right? And if you look on the other side of it, they shut down their rushing attack. Christian McCaffrey, we ain't having that. The game against the Vikings, let's look at that for a minute. Now, you're going to notice here, again, Christian McCaffrey was not allowed to get off, but they stayed with the run. Then you take out the 2 for Kirk Cousins, that's still 19 yards for 74. So they still ran it. Now, they threw the ball an awful lot because they don't have a dynamic runner like us, but they running backs were still getting 4.9 and 3.1 a carry, right? And they lost that game. You look at the Bengals, right? You look at the game against the Bengals. Let me bring this up because I find this intriguing when you look at it. They shut down Christian McCaffrey. Now, this is the trend that I want you to remember. So when you see them coming out passing the ball first, you're going to understand why I'm going to be a little frustrated. But they slowed the man down, right? But they couldn't stop their runner. They kept feeding them. 16 carries for their star running back, 87 yards, 5.4 a carry. Take Joe Burrow stuff out, I can care less. I can care less. It was the fact that they committed to the running game to make it happen. Joe Burrow scrambles and all that, I can care less. I'm just showing you on what can happen. Go to the Ravens game. All right. Christian McCaffrey, 14 carries, 103 yards, longest 139. He had a 7.4 and a touchdown. But what went wrong? Well, Lamar went to running, and that was a whole problem too. But they had issues with their running game. And that's what they were struggling at. They were struggling in the game because they were not able to effectively run because they had a problem with their rushing attack. And this right here is the opposition part of it. When you start to sit up there and not be able to establish the run, you better manufacture it one way or another. And theirs came in the way of quarterback. Because this is one of the few games that they lost when he ran for 75 yards or more. That's how crazy that is. They have not won when you've held him less than 75 yards rushing. But this is the one that he got over 75 and they lost. They game against the Rams. It was pretty much I don't really care who plays. I ain't finna get nobody hurt. I can care less, type thing. But even in this game, for them to get in, look what they did. Carson Wentz ran too much. Ronnie Rivers, they gave him the ball, but they still got 4 yards of carry. These were against backups, right? So you figure this game don't matter. I don't care neither. The point I'm trying to make to you is Christian McCaffrey on the season is averaging 5.4 yards a rush. But Jahmyr Gibbs is averaging 5.2. And I know that if you commit to the run, they're going to have a problem. And we should really have a game where both running backs got well close to 20 or more carries. Easily. Okay? The other thing that ticked me off, okay? The other thing that ticked me off was this. You win the coin toss, you ask for the ball first. Okay? You ask for the ball first. You have to score on that possession. Well, Luke, it ain't gonna always be easy. Who talked about easy? I ain't looking for easy. But the play calling from our offensive coordinator, who's going to be a head coach, allegedly of the Commanders, has been dreadful. Okay? Pass, 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 punt. That's your first drive. Why? 46 seconds off the clock. Why? Your next drive, you took 2 minutes and 43. You run the ball, you get 4 yards. Great. You run the ball again. You get 5 yards plus a penalty. Great. Then you throw the ball. Don't know why, but whatever. You throw the ball again. You get a penalty. Great. Okay? Here you are again. First and goal. You run it. Great. It's 2nd and 3. You pass it. For what? You're on the goal line. For what? 3rd and 3. Now you want to run it up the middle. Really? Did the field goal. And that's off of a turnover. That's off of you getting an interception by Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with the ball flying off the hands of Evans. You get a field goal. All right. They come down, they get a field goal. You go and get a touchdown. Now, this annoys me because I'm seeing patterns that I don't need to creep into this game. In a game where they never led, he threw the ball 43 times. It's unacceptable. Okay? Let me get into the media's response to this. There has been a number of media people outside of this area, and some still in this area, who have still waited for the ball to drop on the Lions. Oh, man, it's got to be over soon. They got here, but this is where the bus stopped. Oh, I love this stuff right here. Let's see. He says, you complain too much, never satisfied. We are one game away from the Super Bowl. Are you kidding me? You're kidding me. That's the problem with people. See, you can be a casual fan or you can be a fan of football. And the fans of football learn to evaluate what it takes to win. If I brought you on this show, which I have no problem doing so to have a conversation with you, if I brought you on this show and I asked you, hey, we're getting ready to play the 49ers. How would you think the 49ers will come out and attack us to beat us? Could you give me a football analysis or are you going to talk to me about Madden? Because that matters. And so while you hear a complaint versus me giving a logical criticism, I think we got different views. That's all it is. You have to be able to understand, yes, we're one game away. We was one game away from a Super Bowl in 91. That 91 team was one game away. One. And you're going to play a team who you should beat. You should beat that team. Now, you don't want me to talk about certain things? Fine. I'll give you the platform to come in and tell me why I'm crazy. I've never been shy from giving a person an opportunity to speak their truth. But to sit there and say, oh, it's a complaint because you don't like the facts of it, well, good sir, I feel bad for you. Because I can assure you this, that if you keep going into it with just being okay with it's a win or a loss, I want the Super Bowl. I'm thinking about the Super Bowl. I'm not thinking about this crap that allows for them to justify paying this man this money. Win a Super Bowl and then talk about it afterwards. But you can't do that if you're not willing to admit and hold yourself accountable to your flaws and what should not happen in this game. We should not have to throw the ball 43 times against the 49ers. And if we do, it's because we're probably trailing. But we was never trailing in this game. We was never trailing in the game against the Rams. And we should not be trailing in this game as long as you run the ball. Commit to it. Treat it like a nasty infectious disease and let it run wild. But to tell me that you gave up 10 rushing attempts in the second half, and all you know is we happy we won, I think not. The link is in there. Feel free to jump in. I ain't never been a person about fluff. Sorry, not sorry. Another thing that stood out to me, Graham Glasgow, first half, whew, Jesus Christ. I'm glad he buckled up in the second half, but we're going to need him to be better. To all the people who wondering if we should sign Jonah Jackson, just go back and watch them games and tell me that we shouldn't sign him. And I agree with you. We gave up way too many rushing yards to a running back I have no respect for. John Bender, I love the Breakfast Club photo. Oh, yeah, BD, but they've been stealing plays all day long. And they're going to do it again. But Tampa Bay was the most blitzing team in the league, and in this game, they did not. Both teams tried to change their tendencies to get an advantage. If Tampa Bay was the most blitzing team and we come out passing the most, that just tells me somebody missed it. I'm sorry. This was a game where I really watched it closely, and I watched both these teams really close. They could have ran outside stretch plays the whole time. They could have ran outside stretch plays the whole time with a few inside and would have did work. What up, Mr. Marcus 42? Now, why am I bringing this all up? Because you're playing a team that has a problem against the run. That's the first part. The second part is this. To all the people who wanted to fight with me and argue with me that we should have fought and like hell to trade up to take Chase Young and all this one, hold my beer. I know what I see. I trust my tape, and my stuff aged well. That's all I'm saying. I know what I see. I trust my tape, and my stuff aged well. To all the people who call Dan Campbell a meathead, hold my beer. Y'all was ready to fire Dan Campbell because you were so in love with Brad Holmes. And then I get to ask him questions like, well, what's the worst part of the team? And nobody wants to just say the word defense, but that's what it really is. Defense is the worst part of this team. And Brad Holmes has tried to make strides there in certain areas. But I tried to tell you, I told people, okay, Cam Sutton can't cover the deep ball, and he's average. Oh, you're crazy. Okay. Just putting it out there. Let's be fair, Tampa has one of the worst secondaries in playoffs now. In the championship game is Detroit with the worst. Lions got to hit Purdy more than Baker. And that's that. I mean, I don't even know if I say Tampa had the worst secondary. I think that the problem was we have some weapons on offense that people don't want to believe. It's a lot of things that I said that people just fought me on. They didn't want to believe. I told people off rip, I don't care about draft positioning. You know what I mean? What's going on, Antonio Jenkins? I ain't caught a Luke G stream since last season. Does Luke still talk over his viewers? Jump in and find out. My man Uncle Rumble, a.k.a. Lions Rumble 81 in the building. What up, though?
Hey, man. What up, Luke?
Hey, not much of nothing, man. Just listen, I'm happy. I'm happy we won. Make no mistake about it. I believe we will beat the 49ers. And I believe we will beat them by at least 2 possessions. Ooh. Why? Because I know if we just commit to the run. But if we come out trying to get sweet, trying to pass a whole lot, I'm telling you right now, woo, Lord Jesus, help us.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think our O-line has proven that it can move mountains. And we have some electric running backs, you know, even Jameer. I think Jameer this could very well be one of those games where he gets off. And we're talking 175 yards. You know what I mean? The kid's electric. You get that O-line moving, Panay swinging outside, pancakes, you know, flatlining people like he did last game. Yeah, like to your point, it could very well shift momentum in our favor.
And you have to understand this, that the pressure is going to be on Brock Purdy. Because you have to put the pressure on Brock Purdy. If you don't put the pressure on Brock Purdy, you're going to be real mad in the coming times. Why? Because what you cannot do, and I keep saying this, you cannot get comfortable with trying to feature the quarterback. It cannot happen.
Yeah, and their secondary is pretty good too, man. And we know Jarrett, man, if he gets a little bit of pressure, man, He has a tendency to, you know what I mean, really be careless with the ball. Um, but yeah, I think our O line, if we can penetrate up to that the linebacker, I don't think there's too many people in our secondary who want to tackle Montgomery, who's already got a head of steam, and I'm pretty sure there's not too many that can keep up with Jahmyr Gibbs and his lightning quick cuts and his, you know, just his overall speed. So yeah, I think this is the game where we really have to lean on that O line. Of course, you know, Jared's going to need to, you know, keep him honest with a couple of 5 to 7 yard passes, but I don't think this is the game we really need to rely on him as far as his arm. I think I'm
No,
right there with you. You know, keep him comfortable. You know what I mean? Until his number's called, until we need like a, you know, that St. Brown, you know, out where he's been absolutely putting the ball on the money. Um, but yeah, man, I'm juiced, man. I'm so happy. Thank you for the live stream, by the way. This is pretty cool, man.
listen. Hey, listen. I was like, this gonna be late, but damn it, I'm gonna squeeze this in. All right. I get my next guest, brother. Hold tight.
Yes, sir.
My man William Birch is in the building. Let me give him his time. Will, come on, talk the talk. I saw you in the chat trying to justify this fuckery game plan that I thought kept a game too close with a team that had it been better would have ran away with it. But I digress. Talk your talk, sir.
Yeah, so I don't want to focus on the past. I want to focus on the upcoming game here. So I wanted to give folks my view of what we have to do in order to win this game. So defensively, it is our strength versus their strength, run versus run. We have to be elite versus the run this week and force them into the passing game. Once they are into the passing game and out of the run, we can bully Purdy. The more we can bully Purdy, the worse the mistakes will be, just like we saw last week. Force him out of into bad mistakes. He is prone to it. And then the other thing, I expect us to give up passing plays early because we want to kill the run. So expect, I wouldn't be shocked if they got a few 15, 20-yard chunks just because we're trying to stop Christian McCaffrey. Take one leg out of the race, that way we can focus on the other leg. And then offensively, bro, Luke, their front seven are demons. They got a crazy front seven. But this is where I kind of disagree with Rumble a little bit. I think their backside is not nearly as good as their front seven. So we need to be elite up front. Elite. Protecting Jared Goff in order to give Goff enough time to eat the secondary alive. And that's another thing I disagree with you a little bit. I believe the game plan will kind of be a bit like last week.
Did we lose?
Wait. So, and the reason I say that is Dan Campbell after the game had a really good quote. He goes, "Man, when we played Tampa Bay early in the year, it was like taking a sledgehammer to a steel door. We have to find a way to loosen them up, and then once the bolts are loosened, then we can hit them with the run game." And if you notice in the second half, our run game was killing it. We were getting 5 yards of rush in the second half. The first half, rush was a little less because we forced them to ease up on the rush, and we forced them to change up towards the pass. And because of that, our run game came in the second half. And because of that, they had to make a late switch, which allowed Goff to get a good fourth quarter through the air. And because of so how that relates to the current day, or our current upcoming game, I think the run type is going to be different. So play-wise, expect more trap plays, expect more draw plays and screen plays to start. We want our pass rushers to be afraid of getting uphill, up the field. We want to try and slow them down to make sure that Goff is comfortable in that pocket. I love our tackle duo, but we haven't faced edge rushers like this in a few weeks. this is probably the best edge rusher duo we've gone against in a while. So we're going to do things in order to try and slow those two down. And then, again, I do think we come up the gate passing because they do have the third best run defense in the league. So we're going to try and ease that up. Like Dan Campbell said, pull the brakes a little bit. Try and, melt the hinges before hitting it with the iron. That being said, I do think the first drive we will run it a lot just to see what we can get, see what works, see what doesn't. And then from there, we'll probably adjust more to a pass, a little bit more pass focused. But yeah, overall, I believe we got a good shot at this game. We have multiple all-pros on our offense, so do they. But I think our offensive all-pros, because they're on the offensive line, can outmatch theirs. So
I think this is the reality of it. They come out passing the ball. See, it's weird because on one hand, you tell us that we don't know or we haven't faced anything like these two pass rushers, which I'm not impressed. But okay, we haven't faced anything like these two pass rushers. And then you think that our game plan should be very similar to the game plan of what it was against the Bucks. Is we lose. If what you say is true, that this front seven is what it is and everything like that, and you tell me we're going to come out passing, you're playing to their strength. And I think that's dumb. And in my opinion, why would you even attempt to come out passing this game when everybody who beat them thus far has ran the ball on them and stopped the run? So to me, that's cool. The idea of it is this. I think that we have different approaches to how to win this game. Not saying that your approach to win the game is completely wrong, but I just think when you tell me that this front seven and they got these guys up front, these two pass rushers like this, and you think we finna have to do a lot of no. I should see 30-something rushing attempts between my two running backs, if not more. And I mean that like from the bottom of my heart. The longer you run the ball and you score on those drives, they're not going to be willing to run the ball because it's going to force them to do what they did last week and start passing the ball to the running back. Now, in my opinion, there was a comment by Craig Bevins that was one of my main points that I believe has to happen for us to win this game, and that's J-Mo. You're gonna have to. Every game I watched them picked on number 20. Go and pick on them again with J-Mo. J-Mo and Reynolds are going to have monster games. They're going to put a lot of attention and focus on St. Brown. They're going to put a lot of attention and focus on Laporta, but they can't cover Laporta, St. Brown, and Gibbs out the backfield, and then still cover J. Moore and Reynolds. Those two are going to have to be demons on that defense secondary for the 49ers, in my opinion, to win the game. And we have to run the ball. Defensively, the only thing I need the defense to do is, which I do agree with you on, is take one leg away. If Ayuk going to be the guy to get off, so be it. It can't be Christian McCaffrey. It can't be George Kittle. If Ayuk is the one that's going to get off, so be it. The same way we let Jefferson get off, the same way we let Puka get off, the same way we let Evans get. I don't care. Godwin didn't get off. Cooper Kupp didn't get off. Let them have their yards. They can have all the yards in the world. If they get all the yards in the world and get one touchdown, great. I can care less. I really could.
That's an interesting thing too. Because a lot of people go, oh, Lions defense schematically has been bad with which I tend to agree with in certain ways. But since since the turbulent middle of the season, we've been stellar. Our defense, we've been blitzing. We've thrown in a lot more exotic pressures. Ever since Iffy has come into the fold, I don't know what it is. We feel like we're able to blitz. We feel like we're able to do a lot more exotic shit, which allows us to get better pressure. And in the current model, we've given up over 345 passing yards a game for the past 5-6 games. That sounds bad, but in those games, we gave up 17, 24, 20, 20, 23, 23, and with almost, 2 turnovers a game. So I don't mind giving up more passing yards because we're finally changed up in the red zone. Early in this season, we sucked in the red zone. We were allowing touchdowns at like a 70% clip. Now, it's not even at 50%. We're really good in the red zone right now, which I'm very thankful we made that change up, because now all these yards, they're just getting 3 points out of it. They're not getting as much. And because they're not getting as much and we're getting turnovers, it all comes full circle. So, yeah, they might get 3 points, but we're also playing more aggressively to give our great offense, 2 extra drives a game in good field position. I'm with it.
I don't see any, like, I know that there's some small nuanced changes in this defense, but I don't see any major changes that switch other than the fact that people are executing what they were supposed to do in the first place. I'll give you a perfect example. We were blitzing like crazy early in the season, and it wasn't getting home. It was constantly on tape of us blitzing, and I'm like, God damn, nobody can find a lane. Now, what you're starting to see is people are getting home. We were missing a lot of tackles. I think we're one of the top 5 teams in missed tackles. We had a few missed tackles in the Bucs game, a few missed tackles in the Rams game. But when you start to tackle solid, it gets different. So to me, if they come out, I'm telling you right now, if they come out with this pass BS, we're not winning this game. Go ahead and run this ball and force them to make a decision. Now, what we need to happen on the other end for the San Francisco 49ers is to force Brock Purdy to become a hero. And listen, I know everybody wants to talk about how good Deebo Samuel is, right? But I'm going to tell you what my honest belief is when it comes to Deebo Samuel. Just hit him. I don't know why. Every time he get hit, he hurt. Just hit him. Matter of fact, whistle his way, fart by him. I can care less. Just touch him. He'll be hurt before the game is over with anyway. So I'm not worried about Deebo Samuel. Deebo is getting demoted to Stanley this game. We taking his chain, okay? The people that we need to stop are simple. First and foremost, shut down Christian McCaffrey. Do not let him get off. Do not. But the reality of it is you have to do that with discipline, and you have to do that with focus. Shout out to D. Jackin. He says that we forget it's a playoff game. They're not going to get blowouts. I'm not looking for a blowout. I told you 2 possessions. If you think 2 possessions is a blowout, cool. I don't. I think that's 10 points. A field goal and a touchdown. And I believe that they'll need that to beat us. Well, let me put you to the back. I want to let another guest in, then I bring us all in at once. D-Map Zoom. Brother, you are on the show. What up, though? Talk your talk.
What's going on, my brother, man? What's going on? I say all I know is it's pretty simple. Like you already explained it. Stop the run. We run the ball down their throats. That's how we win this game. All the other teams that beat them basically did exactly that. Run the ball. They couldn't stop it. So
no, listen, if you would have told me, I swear, if I was a betting man and you came to me and said that Vegas had some kind of bet saying that the Packers will rush for over 100 yards with Aaron Jones, I'd have been like, no. No.
Oh man!
But the more I went back watching tapes and film, I'm like, oh, that's their Achilles heel. See, now when you start to run, them cornerbacks play different. The safeties come up, and then everybody start hitting them. I'm like, oh, so you just run the ball? Okay. But if you would have told me that before, I'd have been like, no, not with Fred Warner and Greenlaw. No. And again. It's one of them things where I'm just pointing out that if we're going to really win this game, you must establish the run. And on defense, you must take their run away. He's going to look, when the run is killed, he's going to look for the tight end. Take that away. Now, if he went to that other receiver, I like our chances.
Oh, yeah. I say he's
they don't have, outside of Kittle.
Yeah,
they don't, like Ayuk don't scare me. Deebo don't scare me. I'm being honest when I tell you that. I would take our receiving core over them all day. But this is one of them games where we're gonna have to scare them a little bit, throw it deep to J-Mo.
Oh yeah, at least once to show them like, yeah, bro. You already know. You let your boy J-Mo get open, it's automatic touchdown. Keep that defense, keep that secondary honest. They had to keep somebody in the extra safety or so back. They help out the cornerbacks. They know damn well they let J-Mo get open, they're screwed. It's an automatic touchdown. No, I say I got fun. They go probably on the first play. They might do a flea flicker for all we know. They did to JMO. This is scared them, and then they get it. It's like they be looking dumb. Like, damn. Like,
you got to do something to get them to be like, all right, we got to
watch him, bro. We got to watch him.
Right, and you got to do something. Steve-O says, what if San Francisco does stop run? You can't be all right with going 3 and out multiple times in a row against their offense. We did it against the Buccaneers, and we passed 3 times in a row. We passed 4 times in a row against the Buccaneers. So I'm telling you, run the ball. I'm telling you to run the ball and stick to it. But what we can't do is we can't be doing this cute stuff where you want to run the ball up the gut all the time. When you look at some of them runs, some zone read runs that they gave Gibbs, give me that.
Man, they better do that cute bullshit. They better not.
Give me that.
They better not, man. They have the team, the formula to literally beat them. Run that ball and then stop the run on their side and make Purdy had to be that guy. Make him had to literally show you like you can throw down to these receivers. I need to see it.
And I agree with you, and I agree with Southwest Lion when he says if Green Bay can get 136, we can get 180. Like seriously, feed them.
Man, we got 2 monster backs like behind this beast of an old line. Like, man, you better feed them boys. We trying.
He said the Bucs offense isn't even close to San Francisco, which is why I was critical of how they were playing the Bucs.
They kept on passing the ball. Like, bro, y'all can run the ball down their throat.
We on the goal line and they throwing it.
Like, what the hell y'all throwing it for? Like, bro, you gotta run that ball.
Come on. And then
y'all doing?
There was a multitude of blunders that went in that game.
Man,
I'm just making the point that you have to understand that you have to establish the run. If they shut your run down, you are already in trouble. Because if we go by what Will said, that we never faced a pass rush like this, so they gonna eat. They're gonna eat because you got Graham Glasgow who's shown that he's a little touch. He came on better in the second half, but then you don't have Jonah Jackson out there.
Yeah,
and players were getting hurt because they were pass blocking the whole time. So I'm just saying, I get what you're saying. I'm just telling you that the game plan should be to run and establish the run.
Pretty much, they know what time it is. Come on now, all the film from all the games and the losses they had were basically all because they the team ran the ball against them. Like, so you already know what time it is. Now, for some reason, you got your boy Ben Johnson sitting here trying to get pass happy. Then it's a whole different story. I'm about to run fade on his ass. Like, what the hell are you doing?
You know, it has to be that way. Giovanni Lyons II says, "Luke, what do you think about a lot of trick? I don't need no trick plays,
man. What do you know trick plays, man? The punch in the mouth."
The idea of a lot of trick plays is you getting too cute, right? This is the game where you're playing old school football.
Punch them boys in the mouth. Like, basically, I'm going to run the ball down your throat.
That's what I saw in that Bucs game. In that Bucs game, the very moment they started committing to the run with Gibbs, because I ain't going to lie, they was fully committed to stopping Montgomery. They thought when Gibbs came in, we was going to meet that standard of analytics that says that we passed the ball over 60% of the times when Gibbs was in. And we were. But when we were called to run plays, they wanted the zone read runs where he can pick a gap and go. So I say smash the ball, smash my football, run the ball, throw the ball, complete the throws when you need it, and you good. Don't overcomplicate it. That's all I'm saying.
It's really that simple, man.
What else you got for us before I bring it back?
No, that's it. I just gotta get ready to make dinner, man.
Hey, go ahead, eat some good meal, man. Appreciate you for coming through.
Oh, no problem.
I mean, look, Rumble, you heard Will. He said, you know, we never faced the front seven like this. He talked about how we gotta attack in this area. I think, you know, going into it, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Run the ball, throw the ball, hit your little guys short, because this is what they're gonna do. They're going to use Fred Warner to neutralize Laporta. They're going to bring Ward over to guard St. Brown, and they're going to give safety help to that other bum over there whose name I don't know, but he's number 20. They're gonna give him help. So now the question becomes, Greenlaw is going to be the only line of defense to stop it.
Yeah, now our line is uber athletic. All of those guys are versatile. Believe somebody in chat brought up, last week Panay lead blocking and how he just obliterated that linebacker. Um, it's fun to see that. And if you get a couple of plays like that and those linebackers are getting washed out and are getting, you know what I mean, manhandled like that, well, the thing about our O-line is it can come from either side. And then, of course, we have Jahmyr Gibbs, who he just needs a little bit of space, man. He brought that up last week. He a small amount of space, and he's got an angle. He's gone. And it looked like to me he waited for Winfield to come up so he can stiff arm him out. The kid is physical, and we all know Montgomery's physical too. So if it comes down to where it's like 2nd and 3, 3rd and 3, 4th and 3, we know how our coach is, and we know like those are the plays that we're gonna have to really rely on these running backs. At least a handful of times.
I mean, absolutely.
So yeah, I think, like you said, I think the only person we really have to worry about in that defense is, you brought him up, is the
Fred Warner.
Warner. Yeah, he's the Swiss Army knife out there, man. Like he can guard. He can play coverage, and he can also blitz. So
and people forget the Packers were stressing the hell out of that defense.
Yeah, yeah.
And they don't even have as many weapons as us. Shout out to my man Mondo Ray in the building. What's going on, brother? They don't even have as many people as us. That's his damn name, Ambry Thomas. Go pick on him. Go pick on Ambry, number 20. And every time I watch him, he getting a penalty. There's no way he gonna be. They gonna have to listen to me. If you have to double team J-Mo, oh my God,
middle of the field open. Absolutely.
Come on now.
Yeah. And we know Josh Reynolds will get off too, man. He's sneaky too, man.
Josh Reynolds and J-Mo is going to be your catching threats. You need to run the ball 30, 40 times.
And we know our wide receivers block down the field. So if, like you said, if we can neutralize Fred Warner, now what? We have two capable backs who can outrun anybody on their team.
Facts. And Makai Ho says Luke Goff played better when we ran the ball. Yeah, that's what he played off of, the play action.
Yeah.
That Brock Wright play do not happen if we don't break the runs that we had. The one run Levante David caught Gibbs, I believe Gibbs would have scored if Levante David don't catch him.
Right.
But once he got that, it started getting real for them, and they started coming up.
Yeah.
So I'm just putting it out there that you have to do something different. Lions scored 3 touchdowns in the second half. They had better balance between the run and pass. Exactly. And in the first half, they made themselves one-dimensional. And that's why you had a tie game.
Yep.
That's why. You cannot do that. Run the ball the first half, run down the defense, and throw the second half, finish them off. I
say run. Dare them to beat you at the line, man.
Yeah.
This O-line's ready. Dare them to beat you at the line.
If you better than me up front, your front four, you don't want to blitz, even better. Don't blitz us.
Yeah.
Bring your front four. I trust my tackles. I ain't gonna lie. I trust my tackles. And on the defensive side of the ball, I haven't mentioned Aiden Hutchinson not once. You know why? Because this is not the game for Aiden Hutchinson that I'm looking for. This is the game where somebody else not named Aiden Hutchinson is gonna have to get off.
Yeah.
And guess who that person is gonna be? Whoever's the opposite pass rusher.
Yep. If Houston's back and he's on the opposite side, yep. Because there's not enough film on him this year, if there's any. And yeah, we know what he's capable of, and he looks swole. He looks like he's in shape. You know what I mean? So he doesn't look too, you know what I mean? But again, it's playoffs, and everybody takes it up another notch. So it's gonna be fun to see him out there, though. But he'll be out there one-on-one with somebody. So I have full confidence in that. If he's out there,
and I hope like hell that Houston plays. I feel like he'll be motivated to make some plays and do some things, but I want Brock Purdy trying to scramble so he can get popped.
Yes.
I want Christian McCaffrey frustrated that he can't get the ball. I want Debo to play so we ain't got to hear, well, they didn't have Debo and you went to the Super Bowl. I can care less.
I want more than one helmet on the ball.
That's
Hit
right.
'em,
I
hit 'em,
want
hit 'em, hit 'em.
scrambling to the ball.
No, right. No missed tackles. Hit them. Line them up and hit them, man. Go back to the basics, man. But yeah, I need multiple helmets to the ball, man.
Now,
It's always those second and third hits that you don't see, and those are the ones that matter. You know
shout
what I
out to
mean?
Bob Money. He says, "Good luck to you guys, but the story ends for Sunday for y'all. The script is in." Well, if the script is in, say that we lose, then I guess the script is what the script is. But I can tell you this much: if a script is what it takes for y'all to get the win, I don't know if I'd be too proud about that. I like to kind of earn. I like to kind of earn my stuff.
His script is in too. It's a prescription. You're gonna need
Oh,
that.
okay, yeah.
After Sunday night.
Again, listen. Depending on how the Lions come, this is what I really believe. If the Lions, first of all, if the Lions don't win I really want the Lions not to win the coin toss. I want 49ers to come out first. I want us to get a stop. We go down and score and let them chase us, and then we go down and score again. I believe Brock Purdy gives us at least one interception and at least one fumble.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I believe we get some turnovers.
So Bob Money, Jared Goff is from California. So once again, it's a line with some history with this state. This is his hometown. He is from the Bay Area.
Well,
so
what he talking about is this, though. This is what he's talking about, though, Rumble. Jared Goff versus the 49ers in his last 5 starts is 0-5. He has a QBR of 21 and 5.8 yards per passing attempt. Now, I want to preference something here, okay? I want to preference something here because we can talk about those numbers, but if you look at those last 5 starts, right, which I believe we played the 49ers last year. Was that last year we played them?
I believe so. Let me look up.
Or was that year 1? What year was that?
Let me look it up.
I cannot remember which one it was. It was either last year or year 1. It'll come to me. I probably should just go ahead and look it up. I'm just going to do that.
Yeah, I think it was wait a minute. They're giving me this week's.
All right. I think I found it. All right. So let's look at the history. The last time they played was in 2021. San Francisco won 41-33. I want y'all to take that in. 41-33 in 2021. That was our first year. He still put up 33 points. The defense, which has been why I've been so critical of Brad Johnson, which is the only thing I've ever been critical of Brad Johnson about is the damn defense. But nonetheless, he really made me proud when he basically told everybody to hold my beer and to suck it. F your draft positional value crap. I told everybody, like, look, the only position you can take in the first round this year that's going to be of help, if not D tackle, is running back. No, you got to go. It's either that or quarterback. But if you're not taking a D tackle, running back goes up to number 1. But what the hell do I know? Nonetheless, it aged well. When it aged well, you got to feel good about it.
And it tastes better too, man.
Yeah, you know.
When it comes to whiskey, yeah.
That was a game that they had Jimmy Garoppolo, right?
Yep.
All right. And, you know, they had, in my opinion, a better receiving core. We had TJ Hockenson, who had 8 catches for 97 yards. We had DeAndre Swift, who had 8 catches for 65 yards. We was doing a whole lot of passing that game. Don't ask me why. The Lions in that game ran the ball 20 times between Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift. Jamal Williams had 9 carries for 54 yards, and DeAndre Swift had 11 carries for 39 yards. You should have just kept running the ball. But it doesn't matter. You did what you did, and Jared Goff had 57 pass attempts that game. 57.
Yep.
Now, here's the part that my man Bob Money don't talk about. The offensive line was nowhere near what it is today.
Neither was that receiving core.
Neither was the receiving core. Yeah. Neither was the rushing attack.
Nope.
Defensively, we got a little bit better within our system over that time, whereas that was the first year of our system. So I get it.
Yeah, we no longer have Flowers, Akuda, Jamie Collins. Yeah, we don't. We no longer have those guys. We
I
actually
get it.
have some guys, some dogs.
He's not no Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady. This dude is a Super Bowl loser. Hey, he gonna send y'all home on Sunday.
So
I'm just gonna put it out there.
yeah, what I was trying to say is this team has been this team. Anytime someone on our team has ties with the opposing team, these guys take it up another notch, man. So this being Goff's home state, this is where he's from. I'm sure he's gonna have family out there. Don't count on him having that same game he had before. Don't count on him being Jared Goofy as you so called. Worry about Brock Purdy being Brock Purdy. Worry about our guys getting after him and making him uncomfortable. Uh, worry about how you come back from a 21 point deficit at home. Probably some you haven't faced all year. This Lions team is ready. And people are still giving them crap like they're not supposed to be there. Well, this team's ready, and I think they put the NFC on notice this year. And we got a couple of signings we're gonna have to do this upcoming season, but we got the draft coming up, so we're only gonna get better. From 3-13 to 12 plus wins. I think this is an incredible run by a team, and it hasn't been luck. Like, don't get it twisted. We went out and took teams' best punch, and then have delivered our own punch back. So it hasn't been luck per se. Shout out to Derek Barnes last game. Finally got his first career interceptions in 3 years. The team believed in him, brought him back, and he delivered. So that's another playmaker you guys are going to have to worry about come Sunday. That did nothing but boost his confidence. So he could very well have another interception this game, or he could very well have a fumble recovery because somebody done hit CMC.
Now, let me just hit this really quick with Steve-O. He says, good thing we got so many fans that can do a better job than Ben Johnson calling plays. Hopefully he leaves so y'all can make the offense better when y'all take over for him. If they offered me the position to do it, I think the offense would be better. That's one. Two, that's just, you can call that, oh, man, you feeling yourself. I just really do believe that because I'm not going to go away from the hot hand. Now, for the third thing I want to point out is this. I actually can't wait for Ben Johnson to leave because when Ben Johnson goes over to Washington, I don't think he's a head coach. I think he's a good coordinator, but I don't think he's a head coach. So I'm actually okay with him leaving. But the other part of it is I hope that whoever take over offense understands that when you have a hot hand, please ride the hot hand. That's all I'm saying. And then to Southwest Lion 26, who says, Bob, if you believe in scripts, what about the Taylor Swift versus Eminem? There would be a lot more eyes on that game if the versus the Chiefs. I think it's going to be the Chiefs and the Lions. And that's just my belief. I believe it's going to be the Chiefs and the Lions. I think it's a lot of money on this idea that it's the 49ers Ravens. And I think that the Vegas ain't stupid. They're not stupid enough to let people just have that. So I think that's what you get. Neil Wilson says James Houston could play. Good. I hope so. Joseph Murdoch says draft a center. I don't know if we need to draft a center as much as we definitely need to get a goddamn guard. Bring back Jonah Jackson and give me another guard so we can keep the line together. And then even in the third round, I would take another tackle to start grooming him for the exit of Taylor Decker. Because he's going to have to go over to the right and then Sewell to the left.
Yeah, Frank's going to need a backup. Frank is going to need somebody that he can groom for sure. I think he's he's probably a good 3 or 4 more years tops for Frank. But what a tank, what a warrior, and but yeah, I agree with Joseph Murdoch there. I think they do need to draft a center, a project center maybe. But yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a bigger story. The first game of the season also is the last game of the season. Defending champs versus the team who's never been there. That's if there was a script, that script is you can't write that. That's a better script. Just saying that fan man says the Ben Johnson thing is lame due to who might leave with him. Her Fairley would be the OC. Don't care. Listen to me. I trust in Dan Campbell to get his coaches right. We lost coaches before, and he got it right. You moved on from Anthony Lynn, who I didn't think was much of a problem. I just thought that what he wanted to do and who he wanted to do it with was a fight between them. So No meeting of the minds, but it is what it is. And you went on to Ben Johnson. You moved on from Deuce Staley, and I'm like, okay, you moved on from Deuce Staley, and you brought in Scott Montgomery. So, all right, cool. We will be okay. All right. I have no doubt that given the trajectory of where this team is going, coaches will want to come here.
That
like
part.
seriously.
Yes, that part. Yep.
Let me see.
Right
Another thing I want to address is Stephen A. Smith. All right.
Oof.
Let me just say this, people. I do not care about what he said. I can tell you how I know that he didn't know what he was talking about, and he's trying his best to talk about a team he didn't want to. And this is why I love that the Lions are winning, because it's forcing people who never paid them any attention to now scramble to come up with something nice to say. It's almost like you were told to take this ugly person to the prom, knowing that you wasn't attracted to him, knowing that you could have went with the hot girl, only to find out that the hot girl probably was more likely a man, and you end up getting somebody who respects you and you have fun with, and end up being a really good friend. He didn't know what he was talking about. What he said, I didn't have a problem with, because guess what? What he said can go to every major city in the United States. Every city got an area. If you go a few clicks to the left or the right or up or down, it's going to have a bad area. There ain't a city in America that's major that don't have that. So I can care less about that. When he called himself trying to clarify his stuff and he starts naming Birmingham and all these places that are suburban areas that's not even Detroit, I knew he didn't know what the hell he was talking about. So why would I get mad and upset about it when he don't even know what the hell he's talking about? He had no clue.
And the Lions have been breaking just viewership on the TV, man. I think it was 40 million last week that watched that Lions-Bucks game. So I don't remember any game bringing that many people in other than like a Super Bowl. And this is just a game prior to the NFC Championship. So I could care less what Stephen A. talking about, man. All I know is
I'm not even
people
offended.
enjoy this team. They're fun to watch. Kneecaps, meathead Dan, all of that, man. Come on, man.
I'm not even offended, bro. Like I said,
right.
he didn't say anything. He should win Coach of the Year.
Absolutely.
Anybody who gets this team to the Super Bowl or win playoff games when so many people have come and tried and failed deserve to have some recognition. Let me bring in another guest, Rumble. I'm gonna put you to the back and let him have his time. Hold tight for me. My man Juan W was in the building. This time he's not even in the gym, but he come in with the Beverly Hills Cop Latterman on. What you got for us, brother?
Hey, fellas, I've been enjoying this live stream today, man. Just letting y'all know I'm in D.C. representing the Lions, man. And we took over a lounge, a watch bar last week, man. It was lit. It was lit, man. And just wanted to say that I agree with you with the that passing approach. I hope we don't come in with the same philosophy with San Francisco and trying to pass the ball all over the place. We come in and run the ball and bully him, man. And we can keep switching it up with the Lightning and Thunder in that backfield. And I saw that Khalif Raymond didn't practice today. I was hoping he would be able to play this game, but, you know, he may not make it, especially if he doesn't practice tomorrow. I don't know if y'all have any further updates on that, but he didn't practice today.
I don't think we need him. And to be honest with you, I love that you said Lightning and Thunder. I get so tired of everybody just sticking with the original mantra of thunder and lightning, like lightning, not faster. Light has always been faster than sound. There's a reason why you see the light first, right, and then you get the crackle afterward. It has to catch up. And I wish the Lions would do that this game. I wish they do come out and give them lightning and thunder. Let the light come out, get them tired, and let thunder start crackling all over them when they try to do something. But if you come out and you go thunder and lightning, okay, well, fine. You better do it with conviction. You better do it with some moxie. You better do it with some cojones. I don't want you coming in here thinking that you just gonna pass your way to this championship game.
Yeah,
no.
we're gonna fail if we try to make Goff the hero.
We don't have to make him a hero.
They were trying to be the hero with all.
They've been trying to justify.
He'll get his time. There'll be times to pass, plenty of time to pass.
Yes.
In this game, but we need to bully them because our offensive line are bullies. They want the contact. San Francisco think that they're bullies, but they met their match with the Lions offensive line, man. those guys are some dogs. We got dudes. So yeah, we ready, man.
And again, there's a lot of people who are talking. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't have a problem with what Stephen A said, because I can tell from what he said, he didn't know what the hell he was talking about. That's just the reality of it. He didn't know what he was talking about. He was so far off that he didn't know what he was talking about. That's why
you can't take him at face value. Yep.
Now, Skip Bayless, who is still salty because the Packers did what his team could not do, okay, which is get past get past the playoff game to go and match up with the 49ers, and then the 49ers reminded them who they were.
Yep.
We have more talent than them. The difference was they was running the ball, and their quarterback started feeling himself and trying to do no-look passes across his chest with triple coverage.
Yeah.
I'm just making the point that this team, a lot of the mistakes that I saw from the last game, the last two games, I'm telling you, if they come out with that mentality, we are losing. You cannot. The Rams game, we was too damn balanced.
And like you said earlier, Luke, we got to start up on defense. Let them dogs out of the cage, man. Let the defense start off the game, and then Jared Goff get the ball back at the half. Like starting with Goff, man. Start with the defense. The defense is ready. Let them out the cage.
Right. Like, I'm not finna sit up there and get mad about things that people are saying that I'm just like, they don't know what they're talking about. But I'm with you. Let the damn defense set the tone. Because I promise you, if the defense set the tone, offense already like, all right, they got the ball back. Make it count. Make it about something.
That's the defense, and you better mix Iffy in there in that first possession too.
That's what I'm saying. Now I know Skip made comments about Barry Sanders, but y'all got to remember, Skip old, okay? He's a Cowboy fan, so he loves Emmett more. But none of that matters. Yeah.
I don't take what Skip said for face value though, Luke, because the way he sees things. I mean, that's why Shannon is having so much success without him. That was Shannon sustaining that show. So I don't take what Skip was saying about the Lions. He picked the Lions. He picked against the Lions the last 3 games in a row.
Of course, and he's gonna keep picking against them because he needs for them to lose. So it doesn't justify the fact, even though he admitted that the Cowboys lost, he don't want it to look like the Cowboys have surpassed, that the Lions have surpassed the Cowboys. So he's got to say these things. A lot of people have picked the Lions to lose, and they keep coming up short. But I'm telling you right now, especially with
the America's team comments, Luke, he don't like those either because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Detroit is the new America's team."
Yeah, he didn't like that. He didn't like that. You know, I want every person to eat crow. I got receipts. I'm just not Patty to pull them out until somebody start calling me out. But I got receipts of all the people who were saying like fire the head coach, and I keep up. I just stay quiet and let it ride. But let me ask you this before you.
All right, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man. I'm gonna still be listening in my ear.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. But I do gotta ask you one question before you get out of here. The people gotta know, where did you get the Axel Foley jacket from? We all gotta know. We need to know.
Man, I got mine off of eBay 2 years ago, man. I got mine off of eBay. I typed in Axel Foley in eBay. That joker came up, man, and I was like, oh, okay, let me grab this right quick.
There it is, ladies and
Axel
gentlemen.
Foley jacket in eBay, So it was only $100 too, because the other ones used to cost about $150. But yeah, it was only $100.
Hey, appreciate you for coming through, brother. 100%.
All right. Yep, no problem. Yep, I'm gonna be still listening.
Appreciate you, brother. And look, again, it's people act like it says, "Come on, little brain." I've been keeping Patty Luke under wraps for a while now, man. I'm doing good. Patty Luke has been put up for a while. Shoot. But I do keep receipts. Trust and believe. I dare somebody to get out. I'm like, okay, you remember saying this? You remember saying this? I'm telling you. I gotta do it one more time for you, man. My man G Mac, man. G Mac Cash, man. One more time for the people.
We gonna keep on going, man. We ain't finished. We gonna be at the Super Bowl in a minute. Here, 1 one thing about Detroit, man, we the realest. And guess what? We the Lions and we still winning.
Woo.
You know the Lions still winning. For real. You know the Lions still winning. Stop lying. You know the Lions still winning. They winning. They say we couldn't do it and we did it.
And they're going to keep saying it. They're going to keep saying it because guess what? If you say something long enough, you got to get it right eventually, right? Even a broke clock is right twice in a day, right? Even a broke clock. This is why when people hear me speak and they say, oh, you know, Luke don't know what he's talking about. Everything I say age well. Everything I say age well. I said we needed a safety. Or we don't need Kyle Hamilton. He's an all-pro player now. When they gave him a shot. I had to argue with people that, oh, he's a linebacker. Like, he could be whatever you want him to be. Linebacker, safety, corner. They've done it all with him. And good coaches will find a way to use him. He's an all-pro player. And what we do, we went out and got a bunch of damn safeties trying to get a safety. So I wasn't crazy to want that.
No, not at all.
What Petty Officer Luke has been on duty all damn show. No, that's not true, Steve-O. Patty Luke ain't been up. No, I'm not accepting that. Patty Luke was not there. Damn,
Called you out, man. Called you out. That was funny.
He said, what? Patty Officer Luke has been on duty the whole damn show. Hey, I'm about to find a way to make that Patty Officer Luke. All right. Yeah, I know he's a beast. I know he was a beast. My thing is it aged well. There are certain things that I pointed out, but I keep receipts about the things that people say when they say things like, oh, get rid of this coach, get rid of that coach. It was a lot of people, including Rumble, who was out on AG. And I'm like, he is turning wine into juice. Leave him alone. Like, yeah. I mean, he's turning water into juice because we don't have a lot. The talent is not where it's supposed to be on the defense. This is my criticism of Brad Holmes. If you ever heard me criticize Brad Holmes, it has been, why are we not addressing the defense with the same ferocity we address the offense? I can name at least 3 high-quality offensive players added over the 3 years via free agency or not.
Right.
I cannot do that with defense. I cannot say defense, we added those players.
Yeah, I was very critical of AG. Again, there were some games where, I was a armchair DC, if you would. It'd be like, man, just adjust, man, get him out of the game, man, put someone else in, and I just felt like we left some takeaways out there. And then, after hearing you say it repeatedly, like, man, he don't really have a whole lot, and he's calling blitzes, they're just not getting there. And then I started seeing it. It took me a while to see it. And then everything came to fruition with Derek Barnes, because remember, he could have planted Dak Prescott on his ass.
He could have.
And who knows? It would have been a sack. It could have been a safety. It could have been a touchdown. He came back mere weeks later in one of the biggest games of the Lions' history, and he delivers the game-sealing interception. Mind you, it was against Baker. People downplay it. Oh, it was Baker. It don't matter, man. You know how hard it is to get an interception in this league? I don't care who it comes from. Took him 3 years, exactly. So he finally, then he shouted out his teammates. He was like, man, thank you guys for believing in me. So that's what this team, I've been seeing this lately with this team. That's what they're built on, man. And then once his confidence gets going, now I think this is going to unlock some stuff from him, because now he knows he can play that position, even if it's just that one game. He's like, man, I finally got an interception. Who knows where that could lead to? So a lot of guys are getting hot at the right time on that defensive side of the ball. And to your point, that's why I said, I was like, all right, AG, you're doing, like you said, he's turning water into juice, wine, whatever, and they believe it or not, they look scary. You know what I mean? This ain't the same defense that he had back in Thanksgiving against Green Bay.
And it's also other things that go into it. Like I said, the biggest thing that Aaron Glenn did was said, "Oh, y'all don't want to perform up to my expectations, then I'm gonna sit you down and let somebody else try." Yeah. And that was the biggest thing he did. But guess what? When he did that, and this is one of the reasons why I know people ain't gonna like this. There's a lot of people. That's for a different show. But there's a lot of people I do not want to resign. Don't believe the hype. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't believe the hype. But what
on the defensive side of the ball,
on the offense, defense, and all of it. Like hey, don't get me started. I don't want to break this down, but I'm trying to be
we
fair.
We ain't got time.
No, we ain't got time. Look, hey, and I'd already been told Petty Officer Luke has been on, so I'm trying to, shoot, but I'm just gonna put it out there. We are executing better. I don't care how many yards you give up. You know what I know? When they get to that red zone, it's locked up. They won't let you out. You can hit a jail bars, boom. But if you come out, I'm gonna say this with the most passion ever. If you come out and you passing, trying to make Jared Goff exercise some demons, that just hit you with this team, we're gonna be back on Monday with this.
What happened? Huh? Don't nobody know nothing? Come on now, everybody don't speak at once. What happened? I'll be a motherfucker. Don't nobody know nothing? What up with this? Somebody got to know something was going on. See what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, if we come out passing the ball, doing all this silly stuff, we're gonna walk away with that response. But if we come out doing what all those other teams who beat them did, and most recently the team who lost to them got away from, which is run the ball, you will be able to ask not only your neighbors, your co-workers, and every other hater, including the local and mass media, this following question.
What's up, boss? You believe that? You hold on. Oh no. Do you believe in that? Huh? Do you believe?
You get to ask them that question. You get to ask them if they believe or not. But I believe Aaron Glenn this whole week has been the rarest of rare form because he understands that I got to take away 2 out of their 4 weapons. Mm-hmm. 2. Mm-hmm. Either take away Brock Purdy, which could be the biggest eliminator of all those weapons, and take away the run game. But the run game is priority 1. Take their run game out and let this man come out with the best speech of all time. When he sit up there and he simply tell them before that game starts,
defense on me.
All right. Now, I don't want them to gain another yard.
You blitz all night. And if they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm going to take every last one of you out. You make sure that they remember forever the night they played the Lions. Leave no doubt.
Leave no doubt. Leave no doubt. Stop the run. Neutralize how often the tight end get off. And if Ayuk get off, so be it. He ain't getting to the end zone 3 times, and he gonna need more than the touchdown. So be it. Take away that, you win the game. It's not hard. It's not.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Brian Branch, we really need these guys' fundamentals, man. No missed tackles. And like I said earlier, you need more than one helmet to the ball. If we can get that and stop them gaining, stop their confidence, man, it's going to be an interesting night. And it's a road game. And again, like you said, you can't let both of them get off. So if you feel like CMC, okay, he's going to eat, you cannot let Brock Purdy get comfortable behind that O-line. You have to get in there. You have to get some meat on this guy. Everybody talks about Goff. He doesn't handle pressure, but you absolutely have to make Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, uncomfortable. I'm tired of hearing this guy's name, bro. I'm sorry.
100%.
I'm not a hater. He's just, I won't get into it, man.
Mike D.
Yeah.
Baker at Hotmail says, I want the run the ball, but I believe San Francisco will stack the box. And how do you work against that? Simple. If they come up to stop the run, you use their aggression against them with swing passes, screen passes, and then you can pass the ball because now they've brought everybody up. So now this is when you test number 20, Ambry, what's his name? Ambry Thomas. You test number 20 and go over the top. And you get it done. Shout out to my man Adam in the building. He says Rumble out here flexing the guns, you know, showing his hard work and dedication.
Yes, sir.
You know,
I'm doing down ups like Dan Campbell. He got me out there doing down ups.
It says Luke get tired of me getting Luke tried to getting me to start at OnlyFans with him. That was one time, Adam. That was just one time. Okay, I thought it would be a good look. You know, the ladies love us, and I love the ladies back. I know you do too. But you know, you wasn't ready to take that next step, and I understand that not everybody can make that leap. Shout out to Adam, man.
Bay Dunes Boom Boom Room.
He said he wanted me. Wanted me to get a damn OnlyFans. What's wrong with him, man? But I think the game plan is so simple. I think the game plan is so. He said, "You want me to shoot with the dudes? Hey, the link is in that thing, man. Come in, talk the talk, bro. You know it's always a pleasure to have you on. But no, I think it is that simple. I think we have to be able to establish that run, take they run away. I don't care. You can get off. You got to slow down Kittle, and you can win this game. Defensively, I hope like hell we run the ball and they come up. I'll be sitting there talking about, y'all coming up on a run, play action, J-Mo, down the field.
Right.
Down the field. Like, that's how you do it. You know, this is the thing. They are matched up really well offensively, weapon for weapon. Defensively, I'm not as sold on their edge rushers as others are. Chase Young is exactly who I thought he is, right? Like exactly who I thought he is. And Nick Bosa has been off, which is weird to say the least. This has been a down year for Nick Bosa by Nick Bosa standards. So
and I unfortunately see one of their weapons on defense going down early in the game. I think our O-line is just too. They're playing with such confidence right now. I really see one of those guys going down. It might be Bosa, could be Chase. It's going to be somebody that they really count on to bring that pressure. But because our boys are just so wired and happy to be there, they're going to get, because lately they've been double blocking. The O-line's been double blocking everybody on that D-line. And I just see them getting out physical. I see them. They've had to me, I feel like they've had a more stressful run to this championship game than we have, if I'm being honest. I felt like those weeks off the yacht did the opposite for them, Green Bay came in and they took everything Green Bay had. And I know those guys are, Debo, we don't know if he's going to play or not. But I know that defense is, they're banged up. We're all banged up, but I don't know, man. I just think our O-line is ready for this game because everybody's talking about, oh man, this 49ers defense, and nobody's talking about this O-line that we've been creating freaking, man.
Which is why I love the hate. The more they talk negative and just swear it down, we finna get shellacked, the happier I get. Yeah, they cheated. They treated Brian Branch. I'd have been on an all-rookie team. So what? Yeah, he mad about it. Yep. Yeah, they didn't want to give a Pro Bowl because it's a popularity contest, and why I don't respect Pro Bowls as it is, and I don't use them as a barometer. But hey, what can I say? That is a Patty Luke poke. But he got the ultimate one with the All-Pro. Yeah, piss him off some more. Keep on pissing him off. Every time they do this, we show up and we perform. We are more dialed in and more focused. We make better decisions and stuff. Everybody gets mad about the fourth down going forward with Dan Campbell. But guess what? Because he do it so much, when he call it, this team is ready, locked and loaded to deliver for it. And you saw what happened with the Buffalo Bills. They finally called a fake punt. And guess what? First of all, poor positioning. Second of all, it was as televised as the revolution. And I'm telling you right now, these types of things make a difference. The mentality of being like, bro, we on the fourth and what? I don't care about no 5 yards. Go for it. That's the mentality. That's an attitude. That's a hunger that you can't teach. That's what you're looking for in this game. And I love to see all the people who are hating because it makes me feel good knowing that they're only hating because they can't believe what's about to happen. See, I believe it's going to be Kansas City versus the Lions, and I think the Lions beat Kansas City again.
Yep.
That's what I believe.
I love that. I love that prediction right there. I see it. And who on the Kansas City defense is ready for this two-headed monsters at running back? Like,
I don't know. I don't know.
Who on this 49ers defense is ready for these two running backs?
Because think about it, right? Think about it. We know what Fred Warner brings to the table. We know Fred Warner going to do his best to work his magic, covering the running back to tight end out the backfield. We know this, right? But what happens when I run Gibbs out the backfield underneath
away from you?
Laporta over the top in the mid-range game.
Yep.
He can't cover both.
And if he thinks he can run through Laporta, who is a rookie, to get to Jameer, oh man, by the time you decide how you're gonna get around Laporta, Gibbs is gone. Have a good day.
That's what I'm saying. Like you can't cover them both. Now, where we can get into trouble is where we come out passing too much. Now, another thing that I got to talk about, because this is a huge part of the game that I think that we are missing out on, right? And this is the one that we're gonna have to understand. Field goals are great. Let me just say this again. They're great. They're a nice way to put points on the board.
And
that's not how you're gonna win this game. You got to get to the end zone.
Public service announcement.
Yeah, you got to get to the end zone. If you get a turnover, we need a touchdown. We got a turnover last time, and what we got? A field goal. I need a touchdown.
Yeah, we need 7. 7 or plus.
I'll take the 3, but I prefer the 7. You know what I mean? It's like you can have Precious or Beyonce. Give me Beyonce. Okay? The 3 is Precious, the 7 is Beyonce. Give me Beyonce. All right? So what I'm pointing out is you have to look at the matchups. If you were the 49ers coming into this game, how would you attack this team? My guess is they're going to say, well, your secondary sucked. Let's pass the ball. My response to that as a smart individual who understands defense is great. Hey, y'all, they going to test y'all in the pass game. I want y'all to go for the ball. Because once he throw a couple interceptions, he going to stop it. They usually do. If you were the 49ers, and you're looking at it from an offensive standpoint, you're probably arguing stop the pass game. If the argument becomes stop the run game, you've already lost.
That's 100%, man. Yeah, you've already lost, man. And trust this O-line is ready for this defense. You know, there might be a couple of plays that get us, but I think Ben Johnson and Fairley, they're gonna stop all that. They're going to stop all that. These boys are ready to put on a show for Jared. Not only for Jared, but for the city of Detroit. You know, this is Jared Goff's backyard. So that 49er fan that was in here earlier, I think Jared grew up
Bob Money. Shout out to Bob Money.
Yeah, I think he grew up like an hour and a half away from Santa Clara. Like that is literally his backyard on the biggest stage of his, basically, his second stint. But this is really the biggest stage of his career. Yeah, he got drafted by the Rams, but now all the pundits and media has been, they send you to Detroit to kill your career. Well, yeah, we got bad news for that. That didn't work out too well. Once again, Jared has resurrected himself, and he's put the team on his back some games, and the team has backed him up. This is Jared's team. So
you know something that's funny though?
What's that, Luke?
The Lions have already done enough to win the free agency in 2024.
Absolutely.
On top of the fact that they got us ranked as the 4th best team in the remaining teams of the playoffs, right?
Yep.
On top of the fact that we got the draft coming here, right? I mean, you're just looking at it. It is what it is. Now, shout out to Greg, who says Lions gonna lose, but y'all had a good season. Congratulations. Greg, you keep that same energy now. Okay. When the Lions win, you keep that same energy. All right. I don't want you to go nowhere. You know I know how to find you now. Don't go nowhere. Keep that same energy.
Greg.
But you've been saying this. No, seriously, it's Greg, I rock with Greg. Greg do his thing, but Greg been saying this since the week 1 of preseason. Y'all gonna lose. He hasn't been picked up to win a game yet. So he's hoping at some point he's gonna be right. Right?
That must be hard being a Pistons fan, boy. Ooh.
Well, as a Pistons fan, yeah, it's a little bit hard.
We're the hottest show in Detroit right now, baby.
You know, it's a little bit hard. Tuned. But yeah, I mean, and this is the thing, man. I want people to understand something. As I'm building up my little I'm building up my like videos that I want to show.
Yeah.
For how we gonna attack this team and go after them. And
Greg, I was joking, man.
No. He talking about me. Why you just can't take the congratulations? Because you're gonna be wrong. You're gonna be wrong. No, and Greg is a closet Lion fan, but he's also a Ravens fan. So that's why he's doing that. He's talking that talk. I ain't mad at him. You know. Oh yeah, he definitely wrote a receipt. A receipt I'm gonna keep.
so you're AFC.
He's a Ravens fan, or at least a Lamar Jackson, but he claims he's a Raven fan. But I watched him all playoff root against the Lions. So he's been a Bucks fan and a Rams fan, and ultimately a hater at this damn point because you hit them to lose every game. Like that, where they do that at? Like, come on, man. So I get it. But again, I get it. The last thing I want to poke on, or at least poke fun of, is again, I've already addressed Stephen A. I've already addressed Skip. I'm not paying attention to Skip neither. He's doubling down on it. I'm not going to address Larry Fitzgerald because I like Larry Fitzgerald, but again, he's entitled to feel that way because the Lions have to surpass where they gotten before. And when they do that, he can't say that no more. The goal is to stuff people's mouth with enough things, and I'm not talking food, that they going to have to learn to be quiet or accept what they get in their mouth. That's what it's going to boil down to. And I feel like when looking at a lot of the pundits who talking about this, there's a few out there who's like, well, I'm not so sure. Rich Eisen is not a guy who's buying into the hype of the 49ers. And so many other ones, such as people like Keyshawn Johnson. He believes that the 49ers can win, but he's not so sure that it's going to be this walk. He gives the Lions a really good chance to win. He's on the fence. He's got personal relationships with people, with John Lynch and Aaron Glenn.
The opinion that matters to me the most is what Dan Orlovsky thinks. What does Dan Orlovsky think?
You know what? I haven't even heard him say much. I know he's been talking, but I kind of stay away from him because he's
been reckless, man. He's been reckless. I haven't heard what he said against this game, but Dan has been reckless leading up to this game. And I get it, man. You know, the team that you played on is now having this kind of success, and that you're not part of it. Cool. You know.
I don't even think it's that. I think that most of those pundits talk and have taken points because of the relationship they have with people on the team. He had a relationship with Matthew Stafford. He had a relationship with certain people in the organization. Maybe he was upset he didn't get invited to the alumni night, but I don't know if I want to bring a guy in there who's a part of the 0-16 season and ran up the back of the end zone. But whatever it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Enough,
so,
Mr. End Zone.
Now, this right here, I agree with Straight Cash on. He said the NFL is story-based, and the Detroit Lions have the best story left in the NFL. And I believe that. I do believe that a lot of these storylines do it. I believe that when you look at the officials, this is why everybody is trying to analyze everything. They want to know, how is it that the Kansas City Chiefs, the road team, get a ref who calls most of the calls against the home team? I don't know. I don't know. I know that there's talk about the referees for the Lions game. I don't care. If you score, you take the referees out of it.
Man, this is a Steven Spielberg script if I ever seen one, man. It's right up there with James Cameron's Titanic. I personally just think it's
this script better than that. This script is like one of the greatest movies of all time. It's the Goonies. It's an adventure that you didn't even know you were getting ready to go on. You're going to find strange friends who's going to come out with cone heads screaming, "Hey, guys!" You're going to have all of the makings of it, and you get to still save the house, a.k.a. the city, because you found a boat and a bunch of treasure. Do not sign the bill. I can tell you right now, teams have slowed this guy down. He's done damage. I love Christian McCaffrey, right? But I'm telling you right now, simply look at how he slowed down. If you think the Lions weren't paying attention to what was going on, they was. Even on Christian McCaffrey's one long run, you know what happened in there? The safety, Darnell Savage, missed the tackle. Our guys can't do that.
Exactly. Yeah, we said there earlier, man. I need more than one helmet to the ball.
That's right.
He's crafty at breaking tackles. He's like Puka, man. He's short. He's stout. The guy's. It's hard to bring somebody down like that, man. And he's proven it time and time again. So yeah, if like you said earlier, we have to take one of those two weapons out. It can't be Purdy. It can't be the Christian McCaffrey and Purdy show. One of those two got to go.
Yep.
Somebody's got to go.
Yep. Take that guy out.
Yeah.
Because here's what I know: whether we play Kansas City or the Ravens, I've already witnessed how to beat the Ravens. The shit, hell, if you be honest with you, I hate to break the bad news to you, but when the Ravens were struggling to beat the 49ers, they allowed for that tight end to get off. And if you go through and look at all the other games, tight ends killed them. And we got one. So my attitude to it is this. All right. All I want people to do is remember one thing, that the Lions' game plan for this game is much more simpler than they thought. Run the ball. And run it with a attitude and watch how they come up, and you can dot them how you see fit. And once you win and get to the Super Bowl, once that happens, all you have to do is come back and watch all the haters still pray for your downfall. Because that's exactly what they're doing. All right, people, let's get into the final thoughts. I don't want to give out too many snippets because I saved a lot of it for another show. My goal is to try to go live tomorrow. But, you know, this new baby coming, man, it's kicking my wife's butt, man. It's kicking her butt. So I'm having to do a whole lot more, with my children, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But when I'm used to doing these shows, she's keeping them occupied so they don't realize that I'm doing the show. Well, at least the youngest one, you can't occupy him too long. He done been up there 4 times. Y'all just ain't heard him. I done muted it like, hey, what's going on? Had whole conversations and all. So let's get into our the Niners top 5 against tight ends. Okay. People love rankings. You know who's number 1 in scoring? The Dolphins. Where are they at?
With Flipper and them.
Yeah, where they at? At home.
You
know who had like one of the number 1 defenses? The Browns. Where they at? At home.
They're in that cold weather.
It's just funny how this all worked, right? Like, you remember the Bills? Who's at home? All the momentum, all the spirit, all the moxie. Where they at? You know what I think about your rankings? F them. I can care less. Go out there and play a game. It's any given Sunday. Any given Sunday. That's all I'm saying. Come on. All right. Rumble, give the people your final thoughts, man, so I can get up out of here.
Hey, man. Hey, thank you, Luke, as always. Thank you, chat, for rocking with me. Special shout out to those guys, man. Again, always fun to come to your platform. And, man, I can't wait to see I can't wait till Sunday, man. It's Thursday. I got a couple more days. I too am trying to find ways to just keep occupied until the game on Sunday. But yeah, man. Thank you guys. Please subscribe to Band of Sports. Love you guys. Thank you again, Luke. And I'll see you guys soon, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Listen, sorry for the late stream. I tried to get in here and get this thing cracking. For everybody who showed up, appreciate it. I enjoyed it so much. It's been very hard not to get in here, especially after we won. And I pointed out so many things that I didn't like and so many things that I did love. This is not even one of them games where I'm looking for people like Aiden Hutchinson to get off. It's the guy opposite of him that need to get off. I don't care who that is. They need to get off. They need to, because they're going to put a lot of attention on Aiden Hutchinson, and the other guys got to get off. Aline gonna still do his part, but those guys opposite of them two need to get off. Here's my final thought. You know I can't end the show unless I do it on a positive note. My man, let me get this out here really quick. Two guys in the podcast says he got Lions 30, 49ers 28. Lions on the final drive field goal. Interesting. Okay. John Bennett says, great show, fellas. Appreciate the stream. Appreciate you for listening. Today's positive quote comes from the internet. Don't know who wrote this, but this was some fire stuff. Oh, this is some fire stuff. Let me just paint the picture for you. It says, sometimes you think people are stopping you from getting to the top, but you often forget it was your mouth that stopped you from getting to the top. Now, I want you to picture an alligator who has his head pointed forward on a ladder. And he's trying to go up, but he just can't seem to get past his mouth going through the ladder. So he can get to the top, but he didn't know how to choose his words wisely. And some of you have been getting in your own way. Some of you have been self-destructing, making yourselves believe something that is not true. Some of you have been afraid to go ahead and make claim upon yourself using your words. Instead, you choose to go into it. Now, most of you have a literal 80% chance of thinking negatively, which means 20% of you are fighting to always stay above that 80. And guess what I can tell you about this? There's nothing keeping you from getting done what you want to get done like you. There's nobody who's going to be more harsh and critical of you than you. There's nobody who can talk more down on you than yourself. And too often you do it. Too often you find yourself in a position to make excuses and to blame and to feel guilt and to never give yourself empathy, to never give yourself a fair shot, to never give yourself credit for what you have done. You only focus on what you didn't do. And you often tell yourself that this is your fault and it's the result of you. Now, I'm all for accountability, but I need you to sometimes understand that you need to do something different. You need to speak differently of yourself. See yourself in a different light. Because whether you know it or not, what's keeping you from the top, what's keeping you from getting these things done, is not other people. It's not systems. It's you and your mouth. So choose your words wisely. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I will be back at it again with a chance to talk some more Detroit Lions football. I'm going to do some breakdowns and show some things that I think is really interesting. But I can tell you what, there's nothing, and I mean nothing, like being able to look at tape and physically see what it takes to beat a team. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell, and thank you, my sponsor, Man Hour, for sponsoring this video. They are on Roku and as well as on Facebook, and I'm streaming to them as well right now. So if you're looking on there, you'll find it. And if at all else, if you don't do nothing else, don't be no chump. Please do your research. I am out.